Today's lesson is on multiplying decimals and whole numbers. We're going to use estimation to help us find the product. So we're going to find the product and we're going to use an estimate to place the decimal point. So for number 1, we have 2 1/10 times 3. So if we estimate this, we can say that this is going to be about 2 times 3, which equals 6. Because 2 1/10 is close to 2, if we estimate to the nearest whole number, we can say it's about 2. And then we multiply that by 3. So we know our answer will be close to 6. Now let's go ahead and multiply this out. So we have 2 1/10 times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. And 3 times 2 is 6. Now we need to figure out where the decimal is going to go. We know our answer is going to be about 6, so our decimal would need to be behind the 6 and in front of the 3, because that is 6 3/10, which is very close to 6. Now for number 2, we have 19 6/10 times 2. If we estimate this, we'll say that 19 6/10 is about 20, so we'll have 20 times 2, which is 40. So we know our answer should be close to 40. So now we'll go ahead and multiply this out. 19 6/10 times 2. 2 times 6 is 12. We're going to carry our 1. And then 2 times 9 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. Carry our 1 again. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. Now we need to figure out where our decimal is going to go. We need to have an answer close to 40. If we put our decimal after the 3, that would be 3 92/100. So that's about 4, and 4 is not close to 40. So we should look and see about putting our decimal behind the 9. If we do that, we'll have 39 2/10. 39 2/10 is very close to 40. So that would be the correct place to put our decimal, 39 2/10. Now we're going to multiply decimals and whole numbers. We're going to multiply and then we'll use estimation to check our answer. So for number 3, we have 12 3/10 times 8. So let's go ahead and multiply this out. 12 3/10 times 8. So 8 times 3 is 24. We're going to carry our 2. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 2 is 18. And we'll carry our 1. And then 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. When we are trying to figure out where our decimal goes, we need to look at our original problem. In 12 3/10, we have our decimal. We have 1 digit after our decimal. For the number 8, our decimal would be at the end. Since it's a whole number, we don't have to write that decimal. There are no digits after the decimal for 8, since it's a whole number. So we just have one place that falls after a decimal. So then in our answer, if we start at the end, we need to move our decimal over one place. So we'd have 98 4/10. Now we can use estimation to see if this is close to the answer. So for 12 3/10, we could estimate that that's about 12. And then we're going to multiply by 8. So 12 times 8 equals 96. And 96 is close to our answer, which is 98 4/10. Now for number 4, we have 0 91/100 times 6. So let's go ahead and multiply this out. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 9 is 54. And 6 times 0 is 0. Plus 5 is 5. Now we need to look at the digits that we have and figure out how many digits we have after our decimal. So for 0 91/100 or just 91/100, we have 2 digits after the decimal. For 6, our decimal would be at the end because it's a whole number, and we do not have any digits after the decimal since it's a whole number. So we said here that we had 2 digits after the decimal. So if we start at the end, we will move our decimal up 2 places. 1, 2. So our answer would be 5 46 hundredths. So now let's see if that is close to our estimate. So if we estimate 91 hundredths is about 1 whole, because this 0 would be rounded and the 9 behind it tells us that we're going to round up, and 0 would round up to 1. So when we estimate, we're going to have that this is about 1 times 6, which equals 6. Now if we look at our answer, we have 5 46 hundredths, and 5 46 hundredths is close to 6. Now we're going to look at inserting zeros in the product. So we're going to go ahead and multiply, and then we need to figure out where our decimal is going to go and see if we need to insert zeros in our answer. So for number 5, we have find 0 and 12 thousandths times 8. So we'll go ahead and multiply this out. 8 times 2 is 16. And then we can carry our 1. And 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Notice that all we have left is to multiply 8 times 0, which would just be 0. We do not have any other digits besides 0 left. So now we need to figure out where the decimal is going to go. For our first number, we have 3 digits after the decimal, so to the right of the decimal. And for our second number, 8, it's a whole number, so we do not have any digits after the decimal, because remember, a decimal would go at the end of a whole number, and we don't need to write that. So we have 3 digits after our decimal, which means we need to move our decimal 3 places to the left. So if we start at the end, 1, 2, 3. Notice that we have this space here, because this is where our decimal is going to go. This is where we're going to insert the 0. And we can also insert a 0 before the decimal as well. So our answer would be 0 and 96 thousandths. When we're multiplying this out, our first step was 8 times 2, which was 16, and we carried our 1. Our next step was 8 times 1, which is 8, plus 1 is 9. We could have just gone ahead and multiplied 8 times 0 and put the 0 in our answer. And then we could do 8 times 0 again and put that 0 in our answer. That will also help for finding our answer. Now let's look at number 6. We're going to find 3 thousandths times 3. So first we'll do 3 times 3, which is 9. Notice that all we have left is to multiply this 3 by zeros. And we know that if we multiply by 0, we just get 0. So now we can go ahead and see if we can put our decimal in our answer. So for our first number, we have 3 digits after the decimal, 0, 0, 3. So we have 3 digits. For our second number, 3, we do not have any digits after the decimal. The decimal would be after the 3, and we have nothing behind that. So that would be 0. So we have 3 places that we need to move our decimal over. So we're going to move it 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. Now we need to insert our zeros. So we'll insert a 0 here. We'll insert 1 in this space, and then we can put 1 in front of our decimal as well. So we would get our answer as 0 and 9 thousandths. Remember that you could go ahead and just keep multiplying this answer out if you wanted to. So 3 times 3 was 9, and then we could do 3 times 0, which would be this 0 here. 3 times 0 again would be this 0, and then 3 times the 0 in the ones place here would be this 0 here. So either way is correct to find this answer.